Two friends from Iowa finding out what's beyond living after death. C&R isn't just about the paranormal. It's about bringing the community together by sharing their experience, evidence, and the fun moments during a paranormal investigation, so that you, the community, can be a part of our journey. Welcome to C&R Paranormal Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the C&R Paranormal Podcast. Your host, Chris
and Ryne.
We have some guests with us today, our investigator Jody and their two kids, Jonathan and Jordan. They just went to Enderburg Manor this past weekend, so they're going to give us their take on what happened and all the fun stuff there.
How's it going, guys?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good.
So who's just going to start it out and go ahead?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start out first of all with that video being in our intro where the door was. You had the problem with the door hitting you.
Yeah.
On the upstairs floor. So it was the second floor. So we went up there and we were playing with the door, and those things are wedged in pretty good. They're wedged in pretty solid to be held open. So of course we couldn't figure out how that would have done that to you. Didn't make any sense. Once it starts moving and that wood piece is loose in there, then it's easier for them to move because we played with it. Now, we didn't have any problem with the upstairs doors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Saturday night for a little while that we had the girls in there, we were down there, and Saxon went through the door, and the door started shutting on her. Nobody had touched the door. So we were on the first floor, same exact area if you're coming downstairs, but it was the downstairs doors that shut on her. So we had a little bit of that. But like I said, once it starts moving, you have to really wedge that wood piece back in there. But to get it first to go, that takes some force.
Mm-hmm.
So we were up there trying to debunk and see if we could come up with anything that made any sense why that door would have shut on you. But
couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the kids will agree with me, but when that wood is originally wedged in there, you really have got to get pushed to get that door to move. But then once it starts moving, of course, it's loose and does its own thing. But to get it loose, it's hard to do. But I don't know. I guess we can start from the. It was a rough weekend for us. Not gonna lie, we had some other things going on in life. So we went in for only a couple hours. Friday night when there. Do you guys recall anything major that night?
I feel like Friday night was pretty quiet while we were there. There was a little bit of noise, but we really weren't getting, because we were in there probably 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
And it was pretty quiet. We really weren't catching a whole lot of anything that first night. Like, we set up the REM pod and stuff, and we had the cat balls out and different things like that, and we didn't really have anything going on that I can remember.
Yeah, like I said, we had just we had a visitation funeral that night before we even went to Edinburgh. So we're not gonna lie, we went in for a couple hours and our minds just were not. It wasn't our thing. It just wasn't the place for us to be right at that moment. So we really did cut it at about probably close to 2 hours or so, and just went back out to the bunkhouse and did our thing. However, we did get up the next morning and go back in, and I'm gonna tell you what. I remember somebody telling me to investigate during the daytime, those upper floors, because it's almost like this is when these people they weren't lying. Like, nothing ecstatically major that I would say, but so much was going on. It was popping off in the morning. It really did in the daytime. We started on the second floor. Jordan, you want to share a little bit of what you caught in that first room there? We were in that, there's a big open common room on the second floor between the men's ward and the women's ward. You know, I'm talking towards the back.
Yeah.
Have like a puzzle and Jordan was in there by herself.
I say it's not towards the back. It's kind of right there in the middle. It's right when you get up the staircase off to the side, which last time we were there was closed off. They were doing doing stuff to it. So I don't know the last time you guys were there if it was open yet or not, but it's just like a big community room kind of. And I was sitting in there by myself. And I was just sitting at on one of the couches at the table, inviting someone to. There's like a puzzle in there and some dolls and stuff, just to inviting whoever to come in and hang out or help me with the puzzle. And at one point, I heard like a guy coughing, like multiple loud coughs, where it like sounded like someone was having a coughing fit. And it was definitely a guy. And at that point, Jonathan was back like in a corner, and he's like, I'm not even coughing.
He was back in the corner of the men's ward at that time.
So like It wasn't him, because it was like it sounded like it was in the corner of the room behind me. So that was one of the more interesting things that morning, is just because like it's a very clear like someone just coughing, and it only happened for a couple of seconds and then it stopped and it was quiet.
Huh.
That was only something she heard. None of the rest of us.
I was
scattered on the second floor at that point.
Yeah, we were all kind of spread out in different rooms, and I was in there by myself. But it was definitely weird.
That's kind of like can't remember where Jody and Saxon had gone, but me and Jordan were actually down on the first floor. She was in like the women's commons area where they would hang out, and I was by the pool table.
We ran back out to the bunkhouse to go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
that's what that was. And at this point, me and Jordan are actually using the radios, and she's like, "Are you up walking around?" And I'm like, "Well, kinda." I mean, I always wear cowboy boots, so you got a heavier step, and you can audibly hear it 90% of the time. But I'm like, give me a second. So I'm taking a moment to kind of stomp around, and I'm like, anything. She's like, nope. And then turn around. I'm like, okay, well, let me set up the pool table here. So I grabbed a couple balls, laid them out. And I mean, I was in a professional game. I hit it with everything I had. I'm like, you hear the pool ball go off? She's like, I can't hear nothing.
Yeah, so it was like he and I split up, because I had been hearing things in the women's common room on the first floor, just like loud tapping or like popping sounds, and I couldn't tell where they were coming from. They were loud enough I jumped a couple of times, but so then we decided to split. And it literally the footsteps sounded like they were kind of right down the hall from me, just someone like shuffling and walking around in one of the rooms. And at that point, I couldn't see Jonathan, but obviously I was like, oh, maybe he's close enough. He's just walking that hall, setting things up. And at that point, he was complete opposite side of the building. So I'm just something was just shuffling around right outside in one of the rooms nearby to me, just walking around.
Was this was the second floor or first?
This was the first floor.
Oh, first.
Yeah, I mean, when we were still on the second floor, we did catch. I think we were all in the same exact hallway there. We got the whistling sounds twice.
Yeah, we were in the
first floor when Saxon came back in.
It was
second.
It was second floor, because it was before Jonathan came in.
That's right.
You and Saxon were in one room, and I was down on the other end of the hall, and we heard whistling.
We heard two whistles, distinct whistles, and of course, you get up and check with everybody. Was that you? We were kind of separated out a little bit, but in the same kind of corner. No, it was none of us. It wasn't the wind. The wind had completely died down that next morning. Then there was some kind of knock or tapping. Jordan was still in that common room on the second floor. I was in the room kind of a little ways down from Jordan, kind of catty corner where the Bible is. The lady likes to read the Bible. And I think Saxon was just around one corner or the other from me. But it was between Saxon and I, or maybe we were I can't remember exactly where we were, but between Saxon and I at some point, there was a huge popping, knocking sound that automatically we were back in the outside together. Like, oh, who was that? Was that you? Did you do that? Did you move? Of course, again, not sure where that came from. Like I said, during the daytime, the place was popping off. Like, we got much more this round than the first time we went. And the first time we went was all nighttime stuff for us.
Yeah, when we went, we only did what, the nighttime, Chris?
Yeah, it was only night.
Yeah, so the first time we went the nighttime, we had a little bit of, noise here and there and stuff. But there was like a lot of those Asian bugs flying around, bumping into things and kind of messing with like the grid. They would crawl in front of the grid kind of things. But the daytime was crazy. I thought it'd be great. We'd get a little bit more this time, more than we expected, definitely. So.
Yeah, I mean, we did the basement during the day as well, and we set up. So I was down. I guess I was. So I was by myself in what you would consider the laundry room, where the washer and dryer are, and there's like a sink and some stuff in there, kind of right next to the boiler room. And Mom, Jonathan, and Saxon all went back down the other side, which is, I don't know what that room's considered.
No, I was still with you when the light bulbs started going off. The cat balls started going off yet.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, so we had lined up cat balls down the hallway that goes from the laundry room to that other room further down the basement, and we had them in like all the doorways. Huh?
Jonathan's party room.
Yeah, whatever that room is. And we set up cat balls, and we had one go off. And so then I was like, okay, well, we were talking like, okay, can you light up another one? And then one further down the hall started lighting up. And it stopped, and then it started lighting up right away again. Something was really messing with that one in particular in that doorway. So that was going on in the morning too.
I think Jordan caught part of that on her phone.
I do have the video of when the second one, I didn't start it before the first one did, but when the second one started going off, I caught it as it starts going off in the doorway. And while we were down there, I was at one point when I was by myself in the laundry room, it was like I was hearing shuffling, and it was like it was moving around and almost like not necessarily taunting, but it was like it would be in one area and then suddenly I'd hear it in a different spot because it was in the laundry room with me, but like I would hear it in the right hand corner, like in front of me, and I said something about it, and then suddenly I heard like shuffling back behind me on the left side. And then it would do it again on the right side. And I was like, okay, what are we doing here? And then I would hear it in the boiler room. And
the whole time we were there. It was like the first time we were there, but the whole time we were there, I think we got the sense of being teased.
It's like he's playing with you. It's like,
playing with you the entire time. Oh, you think you hear me over here? Guess what? I'm over here. It was almost like that the entire time we were there.
Yeah, it was.
Like, come and find me.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah.
And then you like hear it down one way, and you go to follow it, and then it's like, oh well, now I'm back where you just were.
Right. I don't know if there was much else that first morning. I think that pretty well covers.
Did you guys get anything in the boiler area or the kitchen areas?
I some like sounds and stuff, but I don't think anything other than that. Like I said, when I was in the laundry room, I kept thinking I was hearing someone in the boiler room, but like I didn't catch anything other than that, just movement.
Yeah, it was like there's I would act it to almost the residual because, like Cheryl said, it was so active during the day. It's like everybody's going about their business. It's time to be up, doing what you're supposed to be doing, whatever that routine is. But we had some interesting things. I think that was pretty much it for the day, though. Because
daytime was that when you and I heard the door slam?
Door slammed. That was we did hear a door slam, and because we went down around the corner. From where we heard the door slamming, and there was nothing indicating any kind of door had opened or closed either way. So we did hear a door slam. We didn't catch that, but I know Saxon caught on her phone the noise that happened. Like I said, like we were between us, and we came out in the hallway to see who it was, and neither one of us had moved. I know she's got that on her phone. So there are a couple of things we caught here and there. You caught
the noise.
We caught the one noise the first morning that was between Saxon and I. The sound was either a huge tap or a huge knock, something along that lines. So she did catch that on her. She's got that on her phone. That's something we could always share with you guys when they have a chance to get it to you. But yeah, we did hear that. We did catch that. I know.
We went upstairs. I want to say it was that Friday night. We weren't up there for very long.
No.
Because we had started over in the men's wing. And it was kind of like something was coming from over in the women's, playing tag with us and whatnot. We set a couple things up in the hall. I can't remember where everybody was at.
I think that was Saturday night though, because I don't think we set up much
No,
equipment.
No, because you and
Saxon
Saxon were both in there with me and Jody.
So
And
this was second floor, and you set it up near the stairway because the girls and I were off to the backside by that corner there, right by the men's wing. So it was that Friday night. You set up the REM pod near the stairs.
I can't recall if the REM pod went up, but I know.
I think it did, but we also reset it because we weren't sure.
Yeah. That I can't remember what. So if you're going off towards the women's side, there's like a bathroom kind of sunk behind the wall, and then there's like a little like I almost want to say like a mini classroom. Like there's a desk, there's a cabinet, and some other stuff. And I got a couple. That first night I took a couple clear pictures. And there's, even with the wind going on, you're not seeing many dust particles flying up and whatnot. And then I took one picture facing into that, like, little classroom set up kind of personal study room. And as I'm flashing the picture, shooting straight up past my camera, you can, in the picture I've got, you see just a little smidge of just white shooting straight up towards and outside the camera lens. And other than that, I couldn't get any dust particles to light up or, flare up or anything with the flash. And then same thing when I went downstairs. We all went downstairs that next morning. And, you were still in that party room. The girls were off by the laundry room. And I went and sat in that back corner room just adjacent to the piano. And I mean, none of us really got too much in that time frame, and it was real quiet. But I'm sitting there and I'm kind of just mumbling questions, and because you got the whole array of seats wrapped around in a circle, and I'm sitting off facing the door, and it just sounds like a real light sigh, like long day, kicked your butt at work. You go to sit down, you finally get that deep breath of relief, and you're just. And when that went and happened, I had mentioned something to Jody because I kid you not, I had the EMF reader set just across from me. And a couple flickers here and there, but like right when I heard that like sigh, it spiked all the way up. All the bars were lit up and it sat there for like 3 seconds and then went away.
Oh, wow. It's pretty cool.
That's kind of when I got up. I'm like, you got to be, pardon my French, and said some words, but called Jody into the room and then just couldn't. It just went completely silent again. Like it was like, hey, I'm gonna get your attention, but then I'm gonna go back across, and just nothing for the next like 10 minutes. I sat in there.
Did you guys use the dead bell?
No, we did not. I think it's mostly because we had the I got a music box for Christmas. But we have realized that we're going to have to reset the sensitivity on that thing because it is sensitive. I think there was possibly one time, on the first floor in the toy room that it went off on its own, but it can't be 100% for sure.
And this is the music box?
This is the music box I got. They said when they sent it, it said it was sent on like medium sensitivity, but like this thing, like almost like a 360, like it can catch just somebody peeking around the corner.
Oh.
So I think we're gonna have to reset the sensitivity of that, and I think that's why we didn't mess with the dead bells because we were trying to put the music box for the first time. So we didn't use the dead bell that time. Or this weekend.
It's kind of the same thing with that Simon game.
Oh, yeah. We had
Simon game.
I finally got Simon. There was batteries in it, and it wouldn't turn on. And I started messing with the batteries, popped them back in. All of a sudden, we got power. It plays.
It's a Simon Says electronic game. Oh. It was in the toy room.
Oh.
You push the buttons and match up to what the electronics is telling you to push.
So that kind of kept going off. So this one's kind of got me a little skeptical, as if it was just, it's an older model of the game, so electronics wear out. But if you guys have played it, after a little bit of time goes by, it'll restart around, and it'll just high pitch beep, and then like 2 or 3 seconds later, it's a real just low buzzing kind of sound that, hey, you missed the chance to hit the button. Well, we had left and went back into the
Cheryl, I'm glad you know what it is. Thanks, Cheryl, backing me up there. So you're all too young to know what that is. My kids know because we were talking about it, but you guys had no idea what I'm talking about.
It's like where you have to memorize the colors. Like it lights up a color, you hit it, and then it'll hit that color again, and then another color, and it keeps going until you miss one.
Yeah, it's like the color sequence puzzle.
I mean, I didn't know what that game was.
But yeah, for some reason, like it would do that, and it would be in a 10-second interval. It would be that high pitch and then that low buzz. And I'm just like, you know what? We're gonna leave it. And then next thing it's not going off really, but we're sitting in the men's wing in the pool room, and so we're just catty corner away from the toy room. And we're sitting there, it's dead silent that morning, and next thing you hear is that just out of nowhere, just the one low buzz. And it held for a second, and then it cut off, and then I was like, what the hell? About 10 minutes later, no, maybe 5, we didn't really stay in the pool room too long. It was that same low buzz, but what's confusing me is every time I've ever seen or played the game growing up, there's always, when it resets or whatever it does, it's that high pitch and then the buzz. And it hit that low buzz like twice in a couple minute interval. And then after that, we turned it off because we're like, well, what are the odds?
It's hard to know because we don't know how old that game was or how old the batteries were. That thing could have been dying.
And and you have to give and take a little bit because when it's cold, it's cold. It wasn't building your, electronics, batteries, all that kinds of. They do funky things.
Yeah.
And it was like walking into a polar vortex that first night.
It was so cold. It was
bad.
It was colder than when we went to Waverly last year, and it was snowing.
It was snowing.
Like it was colder
It was colder than that. You're right.
Yeah. It was ridiculous.
It was bad.
What was the temperature? Do you guys remember?
It dropped all the way to, my phone was saying like 27.
Yeah, it's gonna say it dropped below freezing, definitely, but
it was cold.
Ours was what, -12, Chris?
Ooh.
No, I don't know how you guys did it because we actually went to dinner Saturday night and we stopped at Teeson's and got gloves. Because we didn't bring those kinds of things, so it was bad. But
that's what me and Chris did. The others stayed back, and we went and got a hat, or we went to Walmart or something.
Yeah, we all had hoodies and stuff, so that helped. But we went and stopped gloves. It was better the second night, throwing on layers and gloves. It was easier, but unfortunately, Jordan and Saxon were not doing well.
Oh.
We got a couple hours in though, because Saturday night was really busy. Saturday night was when we were in the men's wing and we had the REM pod going off in the hall.
The cat ball went off that night too, sitting on the pool table.
And second floor, I feel like we were hearing a lot of noise, a lot of movement. We were hearing things in the attic as well, but it was hard to tell. It sounded like it was loud.
We kept thinking it was maybe animals, which
it was hard to know.
It was hard to know, but because like there had been one chunky, dang little raccoon, if that's what was up there, because these were like heavy footfalls coming from the attic area.
And for a while, it was going on probably for 5 or 10 minutes, where we kept hearing thuds above us, and it was hard to know. Like it was like, okay, is someone up there in the attic, or they apparently have a raccoon named Rambo who is running around there, which if I'm hearing the name Rambo, I'm assuming that's one chunky raccoon running around this place. So it's hard. It was hard to know.
It was hard to tell. Yeah, it almost sounded too heavy to be an animal, but you never know. So that's one of those things we had to give or take a little there on that.
But there was definitely like a lot of noise, and the REM pod kept going off, and the cat balls, and
We did.
Did you guys ever find that zombie statue?
Yeah, he was in the very first room on the right hand side, leaving what
Oh, Jesus. Yep.
Everybody usually sets their equipment and stuff in that one room.
Yeah.
So
Well, didn't I start actually messing with it? I started messing with it that one night at some point, and something happened.
Mess with it.
Yeah, I wasn't in there if you were.
Yeah.
But he was there. She pointed him out right away, so we knew where he was at.
Yeah.
You guys
No,
should
I thought because when all four of us were in there, I walked in, started picking his head up and dropping it back down, picking his head up. And Saxon said she heard something coming from behind her while I was messing with the doll.
Yeah.
I was not there for that.
Yeah, I do remember though, with everything going on life-wise that Friday, I kept thinking, you've already spent the money, part of the money, and you can't take it back that late. It's already, it's already that time. So we went ahead and went, but some part of you just keeps saying, this just isn't the weekend. This just isn't going to work. And the funny thing is, when we got there, it was Kat who met us. And she said that as she got there, she didn't go in the building at all before we got there because she heard something tap at the window from the inside at her. Mm-hmm. And she heard a little boy's voice say, hi. Oh. And she flat out told us, she goes, well, I'm going to walk through while you guys are in here because something is just off. Which I thought was interesting considering my mind was just like, we just shouldn't be here this weekend. We just should not. And nothing horrible happened. Just their minds weren't in frame. I don't think especially Friday night, but maybe most of the weekend kind of. And with the girls getting sick, that just kind of, that didn't help any. And so it was just one of those things where you're like, But, when she said, I'm just going to take a walk through because something, I don't know, something just feels off. Had me concerned really badly, but nothing intense happened like that. So we got through that morning. We went and had dinner, came back, and like you said, the girls came in for a little bit, but we got into, I don't know, the room where they say the SA happened. The girl was attacked. Okay. And at that point, neither one of the girls felt well at all. So we just kind of called it quits for a little bit, went back to the bunkhouse thinking maybe if the girls just kind of relaxed for a little bit, they maybe feel a little better. Didn't quite happen. So Jonathan and I did decide to go back in, but we stuck to the first floor at that point. And we went back into the toy room. We sent the REM pod right outside the toy room. Then we had cat balls kind of all over the place in there. And at one point, we were just talking. It wasn't much going on. That REM pod, and all the times I've been with you guys, I've never, ever seen the REM pod go off like it did when it was outside that room.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure we had the cameras up to catch it, I hope. I believe we did. But I think it was lighting up all the colors.
Yeah, the camera caught it. I watched it.
Yeah, lighting up all the colors and just going off like nobody's business. It was
it wasn't too much. So it was all the colors. It was that small dot in the middle.
But the noise was
like
going off.
When you're setting it up, it flashes red and blue.
Oh, the temperature?
Yeah, but it was really for a long time.
We got a lot of it. The temperature went off quite a bit.
Yeah, I did. That's why I texted you guys like, are you sure it's already sub-zero in here? How can it get colder? But it did. The temperature thing went off a lot, but it was definitely noise-wise going off. We did have a cat ball in the middle of the toy room on the floor go off. Unfortunately, the camera wasn't angled just right for that, but it did go off in the middle of the floor. We did Jonathan went and brought the REM pod in and said on the dresser to the left side of the door as you just walk into that toy room, there's that little stand there with like Susie's pictures on it. We did set it up there. It went off a few times. And then it seemed to get really quiet. And then we kind of got in the mode of like, maybe we're interrupting their nap time, sleep time. It's later at night. You know what I mean? It's later at night. They're supposed to be in bed. Especially if you got kids in that room, they should be in bed. And we did ask at one point, we did ask if we should leave. Are we interrupting bedtime? Should we leave? And that REM pod went off. And we're like, oh, okay. So and Jonathan's like, let's ask more questions. Starts asking more questions. I'm like, nope, we asked. It said we're going. We're out.
And
Yeah, because I mean, I asked that, and I mean, it had an interval is where it was just silent and nothing was really setting it off. And I mean, moments after I'd asked, "Hey, should we, let you go to bed, enjoy the rest of your night?" I mean, I kid you not, that little temperature dot in the center of the REM pod, blue, nothing but blue. It didn't flash. It was just a solid ringing.
Yeah, I agree, Sheriff. Somebody was telling us it was bedtime to quit messing with everybody to get out. So pretty much called it quits in the toy room.
Yeah.
But then we
And that was, I think, really Sunday. That it was it
Yeah.
until Sunday, wasn't it?
well, we did. Yeah, we walked through the doors, the same doors that shut on Saxon. We went to walk back through those doors. We were going to try the room with the essay in it. Go back to that room and try that a little bit. And the doors decided to shut on me. I kept trying to tell Jonathan I bumped it, but he was behind me and he insists I did not touch the door.
No,
But
because I was literally thinking about that too. I was watching because she was in front of me, and I'm like, so I took a step back, let her walk in front of me, and I'm eyeing this door for everything in me. And I kid you not, she had about a good 8-inch gap between her side and the door, and it just burnt. At least 1.5 feet started shutting, and then it caught itself, and I'm like, well, okay, well, maybe I was going to say we were both standing there, and I am a husky guy, so let me just push it back in place, and I just start jumping and doing all sorts of anything I could do to distribute my weight in a weird way, and the door just would not budge.
No, Cheryl, it wasn't the same door, but it would have been the same type of door that hit Ryan. It was just the doors right below. We were on the first floor. Same exact area. But we were just on the first floor instead of the second floor. But yeah, because I heard
and that was the second time it did it, because it did it earlier in the night.
Because it did it earlier on Saxon, and I heard it, and I turned around, looked at Jonathan, I said, I brushed it, right? He's absolutely, because you did not touch the door. I said, are you sure? Like, I think I asked him 4 or 5 times, are you sure I did not brush that door? But again, like we said, once the thing is wedged in there, it's hard to move it. But so the door tried to shut on us a second time.
Yeah, those doors are hefty.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, once it's wedged in there and that door's not moving, it takes something to get that door moving. It was just because, like I said, we tried to debunk it just to see if we could figure out something that you guys maybe couldn't when you were there, but there was really no way to do that. And then when it shut on, then when it came at me the second time, I'm like, okay, well, there you go. If I didn't brush it, then something's going on with these doors.
Yeah, because it had literally almost cut my path off with how far of a distance I had between her. The moment she stepped through, it literally 1.5 feet, 2 feet of the way started shutting and stopped, and I almost just face first right into the edge of the door. I'm like, you didn't touch that. That wasn't you by any means.
And then and then we went back to the other room. And I don't think we got much more that night.
No.
Really.
After that, it fell real silent for the next, 45 minutes we stayed.
Yeah. So
I mean, we
didn't
get nothing.
Try to get some sleep, and we did get everything together. Got rounded up the next morning, and we did another round real quick of what time we had left before we had to go. Started again on the second floor. Again, second floor was popping off.
It was I think the second floor was our busiest this weekend.
Yeah,
for sure.
It really
there
was.
A lot up there.
I know Saxon left me some notes too, but I do remember, I shared this a little bit with Ryan, because Saxon insisted I was pissing ghosts off all day on Sunday. So we kind of split up again, all of us on the second floor again, a little bit. And I went in. It's Sunday. She likes to be read to. I'm going to go read to her. So I picked up the Bible, sat, you know how the bed is set with the head against the window, long ways. And then there's a chair at the foot of the bed. Mm-hmm. There's some kind of little, like metal closet, like real skinny metal closet across. And then there's a big dresser right next to it. So I was in there. It was just me. And I had picked up the Bible, sat down in the chair with the Bible, and just verses was reading. And I had asked, I'm like, are you okay with me reading a couple more verses? Is this good? And right in front of me on that long dresser, a knock. And the knock was good enough to give me a jump scare. I jumped out of the chair. I did yell a curse word, not on purpose, but human nature. and kind of dropped the Bible on the bed because it was a jump scare for me because it was huge and it was loud.
Sorry, Nora.
Sorry, I didn't run, but it scared me. And I tell you what, the minute I said the F word and dropped the Bible on the bed, that REM prod who had been sitting on the bed this entire time without a single noise or change in color, lights, nothing. The green light lit up and stayed on. Like automatically, as soon as that word came out of my mouth, I dropped the Bible. Saxon comes around the corner. She didn't catch the whole thing, but she goes, pick up the Bible and do it again. So I picked up the Bible, dropped it again, and the light went off again. And it happened, I think, a couple times in a row before I finally put the Bible back, apologized profusely for my manners, and exited the room. So that was a definite thing that happened on the top floor at that time. So I don't know what I'm
and as that was going on, and she was, and as you were apologizing, then me and Saxon were out in the hall hearing like quite a bit of noise from a room right around the corner, like constant noise. So we went over there to sit down because I was like, all right, someone in here wants our attention. And I sat a cat ball up on one of the dressers next to, there was a book sitting there. And I just sat down and I was like, all right, well, you got my attention. Is someone in here? The cat ball starts going off.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, so we're just kind of chatting and everything. It goes dark and then it goes off again. And it kept going off. And I think we also that last morning had the cat ball go off in the kids' room, in the playroom as well.
I think it went off once. I think it went off once in the one dresser, and that was it. Just one time, and that was it.
Yeah.
Because so
there's just something about Edinburgh. It felt like the whole weekend that it's one of those places that, again, it kind of is playing with you. Like, oh, I'm in your area, I'm going to interact a little bit, but now I'm going to move over here. And the moment you go over there, then it's going to be, okay, and I'm going back the other way again. Catch me if you can. Like, the whole weekend, it just kind of felt a little...
We were chasing it. We were chasing it all weekend.
Cat and mouse?
Yeah, because then we got down that room and we walked.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, we walked back through, I would call it like the parlor room, the room that's like right across from the entrance, that big kind of open area. We walked through there and through the little side rooms leading from there, and you go through the doorway through there. There's a bunch of little side rooms there. The one with the wigs in it, you know what I'm talking about? It has like the mannequin heads and the wigs on them.
Oh yeah, I think so.
So I was being nosy. I'm a woman. I'm nosy. What do you say? So it's opening. There was cupboards across from the mannequins. I was opening them just to see what was in them. There wasn't anything. So I closed them, and as soon as I closed them, huge knock, almost like a warning saying, "This isn't your space. What do you think you're doing?" And that's one of the things Zach's like, "Would you quit peeving off the ghosts and leaving me behind you?" So apparently that was my thing on Sunday morning, was peeving off the ghost I wasn't supposed to be messing with. So we had a knock in that room. I mean, it was a definite knock, and it sounded to me more like a warning, more like a "this is not your space, get out" kind of idea. I mean, that's just the way it came across, but I can't think of anything else that morning other than that.
How was the bunkhouse? Do you guys catch anything in there?
You know what? The kids were all asleep. And I know, Jordan, I know you heard some stuff too, but I'm going to tell you what, there was twice Friday night. I couldn't sleep. I'm an insomniac, and I couldn't get comfortable, couldn't sleep. There was twice where I knew those kids weren't up, but I would have swore, because I was sleeping I was laying on the couch, so I would have seen any one of them get up and go into the kitchen. And I didn't. And there were a couple times I dozed off a little bit, but I literally had to get up and walk into the kitchen to see who was in there. Literally thought there was somebody in, that was at least twice that Friday night. On top of, at one point, I heard very muffled conversation and thought it was the girls, and it wasn't. They were asleep. So I can say, yeah, like Cheryl says, it's loud. There's always tapping or knocking or shuffling or something going on in that bunkhouse area. Always.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't remember.
It was hard to sleep because it felt like. No, because like even when I was laying in the room with Sis, and Sis was sleeping, I swear, I felt like I was hearing someone in the room with us. It was just constant noise in that house, whether it was in the same room as you or in another room.
That definitely that safe house doesn't seem so safe.
I know when we went, you had some stuff going on in that safe house, right, Chris?
Oh, yeah, you said you were by yourself, Chris, and you were getting a lot of noise too.
Yeah, I was really sick that Saturday. It just sounded like they kept going in and out of the door. Like I would hear walking, so I radioed them. Are you guys in the building? They all said yes. And I would try to take a little nap, and I couldn't because it was still.
It's
all the
constantly
walking.
going. It just constantly goes.
And I was in the middle of the bedroom too.
Well, I don't know which. For me, it was mostly the kitchen that I heard it coming from. But Jordan and Saxon were in the first room, right where the couch is at, and the living room is at, and then Jonathan was in the middle bedroom.
Did you guys? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
Did you guys know that there's a basement in that safe house?
No, did not.
Yeah,
Did not know that.
I knew, but it was locked. So.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they had a padlock on it. But yeah, because like Jody was saying, I mean, even laying in that middle room, so I'm like darn near right there in front of the kitchen, and that little side bedroom by the back door. There's not really a door separating the rooms. It's just a closet door propped up against the wall. And I mean, it's pretty late. This would have been Friday night, Sunday or Saturday morning, but like, I don't know, 3, 4 in the morning. Jody was kind of restless. I was kind of up, down. And it sounded like somebody started dropping our groceries onto the counter, getting ready to quite literally make a sandwich. And I'm like, I'm just hollering, Jody, Mom. No reply. So I get up and I open the door. There she is laying on the couch in the living room. And I'm looking over here and I'm like, what the hell was that? Because we still had a couple of things sprawled out across the counter. So there's really no good telling as to what moved or what that sound was. But yeah, it surely sounded like someone was getting ready to make the Scooby and Shaggy special with how much stuff just started dropping.
I know. I heard. What is it? I don't know. Chris, did you hear the same thing when we were there? When we were in the safe house? It was you, me, and Caleb in that living room there. And there was this like loud like sound coming, like it sounded like on the side of the house, but I don't think we could figure out what that was.
Did we go outside and look?
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely something. We walked in and I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and then I'm seeing, don't flush paper, and then there's an X and tape over the toilet, or not the toilet, but the sink, and then I'm like, okay, well, what about the shower? Full of drywall supplies. I'm like, oh, we're in for a weekend, guys.
Yeah, that made it rough.
It was
and that
rough.
was one of the reasons. Yeah, it was one of the reasons I was okay with it being a weekend, was because they have a shower, the kitchen, the bathroom. Hell no, pardon my language, but no, no, it made it that much more rough on us.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, we survived, but
I mean, the faucet for the tub worked, and I mean, it did drain.
Cheryl, you could flush.
But it was some really. I mean, I'm used to well water because we grew up out in the country and whatnot. But I'm like, I mean, I know that well water smells kind of rough, but it's not getting hot. I'm not taking a bath.
Yeah. Cheryl,
So
you could flush,
man.
but you could not flush toilet paper.
yeah.
I don't think we could flush, Chris, when we were there. Could we?
Well, just
We
really
had
nice to
issues.
kind of know that ahead of time, though, because like I said, that's the reason we were okay
Yeah,
with the
there was no
weekend.
warning.
There was no warning. So I said, if it ever happens again, and next time we will just stay at a hotel. That way we have access to the place whenever we want, but we can still take showers. And not
Yeah,
worry
I'm
about
not
going
cut
to
out for the. I'm not cut out for that kind of lifestyle,
Yeah, that
even
was-
for a couple of days.
That
it
wasn't
was
even
rough going.
close to glamping. That was like just straight up
The
camping.
kitchen sink worked properly. I told them to stand outside the window, and I'd hold the spray nozzle, and we could take a shower. They weren't
The
having
good
it,
news is
so.
at least Yeah, at least it was cold enough that you really weren't sweating. Like it was
Yes, that was
freezing
the
cold
only
inside. Like
It
I
was
would have
cold.
it would have been worse if we were sweating and then had no shower, but because it was so cold, it's like, oh, well, we're freezing anyway. No one's sweating.
Yeah, that was a little bit of that. Yeah, that was the only goodness to the cold.
Bring a shovel and a Walmart bag. There you go.
Look, we had a poop bag. We had a poop bag. We didn't put it in the toilet, but when you wiped yourself after going poo, we had a bag, special bag for that got put elsewhere. Yeah, you can gag all you want, Ryan, but we had,
I did not. I refused to do any of that until we were somewhere with an actual bathroom. Could not. It's not for me.
The fun adventures of investigating.
Right.
It's only good to a good weekend.
Right. You don't really, I guess. It was good. I would like to go. I mean, it was definitely active. I would like to go back. Like, obviously, Mom said it was a rough weekend. We were dealing with a lot coming off of Friday afternoon. It was kind of a rough weekend just trying to rally, but I would love to go back. I mean, both times we've been, there's never been a dull moment. There's always something going on in that place.
There is, but like you said, daytime, we got so much more activity going on during the daytime.
Yeah. Especially second floor. We had constant.
And I would say almost residual, but some of that stuff you got some intelligent responses to. Like they literally, equipment was going off when you asked certain questions that made sense. So I wouldn't say it's all residual, but I'm sure a good chunk
it was active enough that Saturday morning.
Yeah.
That Saturday morning was pretty active, I'd say. That was a good opportunity to get Jody as she good opportunity to get Jody as she was walking around the corner to the piano room.
Oh, you scared her?
Oh yeah.
I had my red light and I was standing right behind the door right next to the piano, and I'm like, I don't even know if I called you in there. You come walking around the corner and I just hit her with the light and she just walked up for us.
Because even in the daylight, it's still pitch black when you come around into that corner.
Yep.
Yeah, he scared me.
Well, we want to thank you all for coming on. We got to do it
Thank
now.
you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to be here.
For right now, Ryan and I have decided to take a break from doing a podcast stuff to make CNR better. We will be coming back to do a podcast eventually. We just want to do a bunch of stuff for CNR, make it better, and do more investigation stuff. So work on that. Ryan, you want to take us out with our socials?
So, do you want me to tell like our upcoming events stuff, or first and then, or how do you want me to?
Sure, you can.
So, April 25th, we have, me and Chris will be going 21st to the Haunted Midwest event. Where's that at, Chris? Again?
Indiana.
I know it's in Indiana. And then April 25th, we have the kids' night at the Rock Island Roadhouse. And then the Rock Island Roadhouse Esoteric Expo, October. Where you can find us, on Facebook. Where are my buttons at? Facebook, sorry. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. We want to thank you guys for coming on. As for that, thank you all for watching and listening. You guys have a great one.
Night, everybody.
Night.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
We believe that the journey doesn't just stop. It only begins and that's with you, the community, as we take you along on our journey through the unknown. Without you, there wouldn't be us. So as for that, thank you so much for watching and listening, and stay tuned for more